This conference will now be recorded.
So yesterday we started understanding how to create ServiceNow lab account, and later we have seen uh, how we have seen like three frames: banner frame, navigator frame, content frame. So we are trying to explore banner frame options. So there we have seen how to branding, how to modify the branding. Link. So I shared in the group. Okay, so how to do the branding for our instance by using the banner frame, and also how to enable these two drop downs. One is application drop down, and second one is update set drop down. We have seen what is application drop down and what is application, what is the importance of selecting right application to modify the changes. Okay, so you cannot select whatever, I mean, here let's say if you want to modify any specific application, let's say benchmark common, so you have to select that. Okay, so if you are in different application here and if you are trying to modify some other applications, it will not allow you to do that. It will be showing as a read only. Okay, so when you join a project and when you want to make changes to, or when you get a story to modify the things, so the first step is you need to select your correct application which you are part of that. So then after selecting, automatically update set will populate. So as I said, update set we are using update set we are using to move the changes from one instance to another instance, one instance to another instance. Okay, so in real time, three instances will be there. Basically, one is development instance, second one is testing, third one is production. So all the development activity will be done in the development instance. So for every story, we have to create an update set. So by default update set will be there. But when you want to implement something, let's say as part of the development, uh, yeah, I mean as part of the development, so you have to implement functionality. Let's assume that you have assigned for three stories. You have assigned three stories, and those three stories you have to implement on so and so application. So here first you will come and you will select the application. So out of those three stories, you will take up one, right? So when you want to implement that specific story, so select the application. Then here, so once you select the application, second thing is you have to create update set. You have to create update set. So to create update set, just navigate to here one module called local update sets. So just navigate to local update sets and click on here local update sets module. Then it takes you to the list of update sets. So here it will show you all applications update sets, but you have to create new update set for your story or your task. Story or task is nothing but it's a piece of work. Let's say they asked you to create one table and add so and so columns. So this is a one story you will have to work. So for that, you selected that application where you want to create a story or where you want to create a table. So second thing is you need to create update set to record your work. So here you can go ahead and here give the name. So name, different organizations may follow different naming pattern. See the existing update sets in a local update set and give the name. So most of the companies will go with employee ID or employee name. So then project name. Okay. So just I'm giving some domain names here and the story description. So create table columns. Okay, so create table columns. Okay, this is I've given like this, and then it should be in progress. I will definitely try to explain. We have many modules under system updates it, so we will discuss how to make use of this. But time being, it's just the introduction classes. Just I am trying to give you some basic information here. But once we start discussing about update set, so we will explore complete options. It takes me minimum 1 hour to explain about update sets. Okay, so after giving name, make sure that the state should be in progress. And here you can see application, it has taken from here, whatever we selected. It just, I'm assuming that, so we are implementing this particular functionality and this application, and I'm selecting here, and then here two options are there, submit, submit and make current. So both will create update set. If you click on submit and make current, it will create this new update set and it will select by default. Automatically it will select this update set. If you click on submit, just it will create update set. It will be there in the options. So you have to select it manually. So let me show you. Let me click on submit and make current. Submit and make current. Just we have to give couple of minutes to update this. If network is faster or ServiceNow is up and running with good speed, so automatically it will be selected. But if it is not, just click on here drop down. Let me refresh it. Actually, it should select automatically. Now you can see once I refresh it, it has selected automatically. You can see still loading. Let it load. You can see two update sets are there. One is default update set, which will create, I mean, it creates automatically when we create a new application. And another one is I created to implement one of the story out of the three stories. So just I started one story and here I created update set. Then I'm ready to start implementing the story requirement. So the story requirement is creating a table. So once you just use the ServiceNow platform, once you create a table, so automatically the changes will be recorded into this update set. Okay. So for example, I will show you already recorded changes in the default update set. So click on this here, click on this here, and if you scroll down, you can see 59 changes has been added. 59 changes has been added here. You can see. So all here are XML format. So for example, custom application, you can see this is the date and created by and type of, okay, and it will load. Just we have to give some couple of minutes here. Let it load. Now you can see. So the whatever task you have done, it has captured into this format, XML format. Okay, and it will, I mean, we no need to worry about how to move it. I will explain. So So just I am explaining here. So whenever you make the changes, how it will be recorded into update set. So just we are trying to explore that. But later, definitely we will learn how to move the changes from one instance to another instance, one instance to another instance. Okay. So this is all about importance of selecting application drop down and as well as updates at drop down. So let me know if you have any questions here.
Sir,
Okay.
what is the
So
story means?
this hmm?
Story means.
Story means piece of work. Okay. So when you want to implement a project or solution, so the entire work will be divided into pieces. Okay. So let's say table creation is a one work, notification creation is another work, business rule creation is another work. Like they will divide the work into pieces and they will allocate to the developers. So developers will have to start working on those things. That we will call as a story, or we can call it as a task. Got it?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so just remember at this moment, but we are definitely going to discuss more about the update sets. Okay, so best practices and all we will discuss. So here another drop down is there. This we will call as a user drop down, user logged in drop down. When I click on user logged in drop down, so we can see four options here. So the first option will give you the user profile details like first name, last name, email address, date format, time zone, and so on. So we are may not be using this option regularly because we are nothing to do this. But when you want to make change password for this instance, you can use the profile and you can change the password. And also, if you like to change the time zone for this user, so when you modify time zone here, so the data whatever you are seeing in this instance, it will be shown into this time zone whatever you selected. So that is the only thing, that is the only, I mean, time zone related stuff and as well as password related changes if you want to make, just you can make use of this profile option. And another option is here called impersonate user. So this will help you to log in as a different user and you can understand his problem. Let's say in product already application is in production, but one of the user raised an issue saying that he is not able to access the particular module or is not receiving notifications. So then they have created a backlog and they have allocated to one of the developers. So developers started working on it. So this issue is user specific. It's not for everyone. So others it's working fine, but only one particular user it is not working. So in that case, so here when you want when you know what exactly the issue, so the fix or resolving that issue is very easy. But if you don't know why it is happening and when it is happening, so it's very difficult to identify that issue and fixing that issue. Okay, so here to understand why and when it is happening, so we can make use of this impersonate user and you can log in as a that user who are raised this issue, so that you can verify and you can try to understand the flow why and when it is happening, so that it will be easy to resolve that issue. Okay, so let me try to show you login as a different user. So click on impersonate user option, click on impersonate user option. It takes you to the list of users. Here you can search. So whatever user you have, I mean, the issue has raised, you can select that user. Let's assume that able tutor has raised that. So I'm selecting. So once I select, automatically it start impersonating this user. Now see, ServiceNow is impersonated, and now I'm able to see able tutor login, able tutor screen. When able tutor logs in, so he sees the same screen. So by impersonating user option, so I impersonated able tutor, and I'm able to see all able tutor related applications and his screen and its UI design, everything I can see here. So now I can go ahead and I can verify. I can just replicate that issue, and I'll try to understand here. So once I get what exactly the issue, so then I can end this impersonation, and then it takes me to the my login, so I can continue my work, and I can implement and I can finish that story. So this is how the actual usage as a developer we are using this impersonate option. But technically impersonate option will give us to impersonate any user, and you can log in and you can verify the user functionality. Okay, it means that if user, let's say you have given access to the specific user, you want to verify before closing the story, you want to verify the user has access or not, you can impersonate that user and you can verify and you can confirm. So then you can close the story. Okay, so this is how impersonate will work, and we are using in real time as a developer to replicate or reproduce that issues. So we will use this impersonate user option. Let me know if you have any questions on these two options. Okay, so then another option is here called elevate roles. So this option may not be there for all the developers. This option may not be there for all the developers, but few specific developers who are working on security related stuff, so they will have this role. But let's say as part of your story, you need to configure security settings like database access related, table access related, you want to set up. So then you would require this role. So you can request this role based on their process. Different organizations may have different processes to request a role. To based on that, you can request a role. So they will enable this role for you 48 hours, 72 hours, depends on your requirement. They will enable, make use of this role and configure security settings. Okay, so here we will call as a elevate roles, and if you want to implement database operations, file accessibility, like you can control who can delete the data, who can insert the data, who can update the data. So all such kind of things, if you want to configure in ServiceNow, you would require elevate roles. Under elevate roles, one role called security underscore admin role. So if you have this role, then only you will configure ACLs, access control list. Using that, you can control the database operations. So click on here, OK. And once I click on OK, here it opens the lock icon. You can see lock has been enabled. Let me show you that icon. Now you can see in the user drop down, you can see user menu. So lock icon has been opened. It means that so now you are allowed to configure accessibility settings and operation table operation related settings. So this concept also will take more than 1 hour, how to configure ACLs and how to restrict operations on the table and how to restrict the files. All we will discuss as part of the syllabus. So at this moment, just remember what is elevate roles, why we are using this. Okay, but later we will see how to, again, I will repeat this. Definitely, I will repeat, or we will discuss more about this elevate roles in the coming sessions. And another option called here logout. We know what is logout. I no need to explain about that. So here another option in the banner frame called search. So this we will call as a global search. So here you can search entire instance. You can search entire instance. So this search is the fastest search in the service now. If you want to search anything, it will search and it will give you quickly. So behind this search functionality, ServiceNow is using one search engine called Jing search engine, ZING. So they are using behind of this search. So, but as a developer, we are nowhere we are nowhere responsible about the how the Jing search engine works and all. We don't need to know. Just here we should understand how to make use of this global search. So global search, so we are using as a service desk. Okay, once you give this instance to production, so end users will start use this, right? So they will use for searching. Let's say if you want to search, you have just one ticket number and you want to search this. You don't know where it is, so you want to search it. So just enter the ticket number and press the enter. So meanwhile, I have received one question here. Instances, instance means instance is nothing but URL server. Okay, so either you can call it as a URL or you can call it as an instance. So technically, it's a server. This URL connects to the uh, one computer in the cloud. Okay, so this is everything is a server actually. Okay, so whatever you are accessing server. So here, see, when I type this incident, when I type this incident number, so it brings me that incident details and it opens in a form directly. You can see it has been opened here. So this is how you can make use of this global search to search the functionality or to search the any records. Okay, so you can search anything. You can type anything and you can search. So it will search entire in ServiceNow instance. Okay, so this is about the global search. Any questions on this? Let me know.
Okay, I have like one question. So,
Yes.
so basically, here like I just want to club like into concepts like what you have explained. So, for example, like if I log in as like impersonate user, and so my first question is, so how we will handle the security over there because I mean, we when we try to log in as like some other guy, so we need to enter into his system, right? So probably like definitely there should be security for his system. So how we gonna handle that? And my second question is, um, so basically like uh, for example, let us say like if some issue is there like for only that system, so how we are going to trace like is there any logs like or else like is there any basically like what kind of approach you follow like to trace the any problem?
Okay, so let me answer the first question. So this impersonate user security concerns, right? So here
Yeah.
ServiceNow instance, okay, single instance we are using for multiple users. Okay, so for each user will not have different instances. So one development instance will be there. Multiple users will use the same. Okay, so that
Mhm.
is the one thing. And when we impersonate means just we will log in as that user, and also whatever activity we're doing after impersonating, it will be traced. It will be traced in the logs. Okay, if you modify anything, so definitely we will get to know we have modified, and when it is modified, okay, everything, because we will not give impersonate to end users. As a developer, you will have a access, but once this
Mhm.
product went to live, the end user who is actually using this product will not have these options. Only it will have only profile option.
Oh, okay. So, for example, let us say, like, I mean, we both are two developers under the
Mm.
same instance. And if I want to log into your system, like as an impersonate user, and so, like, I mean, can I simply log in, like, I mean, with it? Or so that means, like, I mean, there is no security here.
And no security, because your role they have given. Okay, if you are seeing this impersonate user means you have a role
Mhm.
to log in as a different user, and it will be traced in the logs. For
Oh, okay.
developers, it is really helpful. So when you want to replicate issues, and when, because it's in development, there is no real data, right? So only dummy data will be there, or test data will be there. So you can
Mhm.
impersonate, or you can do, just you can try to use this for development purpose,
Okay.
like reproducing that issue, replicating that issue, so that you can, as a developer, you will understand more about that issue and you can fix it. But whereas in production, once it is
Mhm.
goes to production, we will not have all these roles. Only this profile role will be there. That's it.
So where you will see the logs, like,
Yeah,
so
we
that
have
is like,
separate
I mean, oh, okay,
logging mechanism is there. So
okay,
system
sure.
logs. So we'll discuss about that in the coming sessions. So how to make use of CR. Many logs are there. Okay. So we
Okay,
will
sure,
make
sure.
use logs, and we will, yeah. So just it's a part of intro. I'll try to give you basic information. Yes, whatever you ask, right? All are good questions. Yeah. So I'm appreciating you.
Thank you.
So the another question you asked me, but I didn't have much clarity on that. Can you come again? You said different servers or something.
Yeah, I mean, basically, like, let us say, like, I mean, for under one instance, like, I mean, if we have like two developers, so
Oh,
I mean, I can simply log into our system. Though, like, I mean, log is there, like, I mean, I truly understand. Uh, but like, I mean, if I simply log into your system, so that means, like, basically, like, I mean, some sort of authentication should be there, right? Like, I mean, I cannot simply log into your system.
yeah,
So
correct. So
yeah.
the role impersonate role they have given, so for only specific users, not for everyone. So those users, like right now, I'm administrator, so I have that role.
Okay.
So we can disable that role as well. And the as I said, right, so you cannot do whatever you want after impersonating, and it's completely in a development environment. Okay, development environment. So definitely we will get to know we have done the changes and all, so we can trace it. So that tracing mechanism is there. Just this is for this role is they have given for just for development activity, so you can reproduce and replicate the issues, not for any
Okay.
other purpose.
So if they are at, if the two roles at same level, let us say, like, I mean, if two admins are there, so they can simply log in each other, right?
Yeah, they can log in first with their own credentials. After that, they
Mhm.
can make use of this impersonate user.
Oh,
They can
okay,
impersonate. Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
So
Mhm.
yeah,
Sure. Yeah, thanks.
yeah. Okay. So any other questions? Let me know. So since these are introduction classes, so you can ask whatever you have. So no time limit or no questions limit. So you should understand more about that. Okay. So Sausana is asking, what is update set? What is the use of update set? So Sausana, here the thing is, when you implement something in ServiceNow, so it will be there in the instance, particular instance. Okay. And as I said, in real time, majorly or basically three instances will be there. So one is for development, and another instance for testing, and one more is for production. So production instance, will not have access to, developers will not have access, only end users. For example, banking application is a, you are a bank customer. Okay. So whenever you are accessing, you will see the bank related operations and all you can perform, right? So you are a end user there. So like here, say similarly for ServiceNow, once you complete the development, so we will put it into production and end users will use this. End users means actual users who are intended to use this, or who are uh, let's say as part of their business, if they want to raise a request, if they want to create incidents, so they will use this and they will start creating requests or creating submitting incidents and so on. So those are end users. So that is another thing. So here three instances will be there: development, testing, and production. So all development activity we are doing development instance. So once you've done the development, let's say I asked you to create a table. So you done it as a developer, you done it. Then I want to move this to testing, right? Testing instance. So there we will have to test the functionality. So business will test the functionality. If functionality is fine, so then we will move to the production, and production then actual users will utilize it. So to move the changes from one instance to another instance, like development to testing and testing to production, so we would use here update sets. So update sets are XML files. It will record your work in XML format. It will record your work in XML format. Whatever changes you make, it will record into XML format. So that is the reason, as I said, select the correct application and select the right update set here. So all your changes will be tracked here, and then once you're done with your changes, so we can take this file and we can move to testing instance. Then business team will test your changes. Once they approve, then we will move to the production. Okay, but I will definitely, as I said, right, so update sets related things we will cover. It takes more than 1 hour. So there I will show you how to move the changes from one instance to another instance. Got it?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Any other questions? So feel free to ask me.
Sir, how truly companies use ServiceNow? What is their use?
Sorry, how? Truly. I didn't
How
get you,
truly?
Sriram.
uh, how the companies will use ServiceNow?
Okay. See here, to provide services to their employees. So, one platform is required. So earlier they are using different platforms, like they were using BMC Remedy, HP Manager, or different. .NET, Java applications also they were using to provide services to their employees. But ServiceNow came into picture, and ServiceNow is providing more rich functionality with less cost, and also it's a cloud platform. So most of the companies started adopting the ServiceNow as their ticketing system. So here, let's say I will explain with one simple example, so that you may understand very well about using ServiceNow in real users of ServiceNow. So you are working in a ABC company, or let's say XYZ company. Okay, so let's say 10,000 employees are there. To provide, support for those 10,000 employees in terms of hardware, in terms of software related, in terms of providing devices to them, okay, and also providing facilities. Okay, so we need a platform, right? Let's say you are working on one critical project, and you are encountering a network issue or LAN issue. So then if someone has to reach out you, or you have to reach out someone and ask them to resolve that issue, because you are resolve that issue immediately, because you are working on a very important application and that application is going to prod. So you are facing use network issue. or your laptop is not connecting to the network. So here, these 10,000 employees cannot go manually and cannot ask them to resolve it, right? So here we are using a platform like a ServiceNow, and we will create applications like self-service. So if I have an issue, I can log into ServiceNow and I can fill the details and I can submit a request. When I submit a request, it will go to the correct team, appropriate team. So the team will allocate uh, one incident or one person. They will allocate one person. Then that person will responsible for resolving this issue. So we have timelines, and we will set the timelines based on your severe issue severity. So he will reach out, he will call you, or he will ask you to share your, more, if he requires more details, he will ask you the details, and he will resolve that issue. If he is not able to resolve, then another team will be there, like a problem team. So then it goes to problem team. Then they will identify what is the problem. Before that, they will provide temporary solutions. So then later, so they will, if problem is really there, so then they will decide to change some product or some component, let's say router or switch they want to change. So then they will write a change request. So then change request team is involved, and they will come to you, and they will schedule the change, and they will change your router or wire or whatever it is. Okay. So to coordinate all these teams and all this process, so we would require a tool like ServiceNow. Okay. So that is the real use cases. Like this, thousands of use cases will be there. Just we are starting here. Just I have given some basic example. Okay, so hope you understand it. Let me know if you still have questions on this.
No questions.
Okay, so this is about the user dropdown and impersonate user, and also global search related information. So next one is here, these options we may not be using, like toggle connect sidebar and toggle help sidebar we are not using, and just here communicating with the uh, users, other developers, you can chat with them and they can discuss. Okay, and another option here called settings. So we will discuss tomorrow, or tomorrow is I'm planning to give holiday due to festival. So next class will be on Monday. So we will discuss about the settings and how to configure the settings and for our instance, and how to apply themes, so on we will discuss. So once you're done with this banner frame, we will move to navigator frame. So there we will explore all the navigator frame related options, and finally we will end up with the content frame. Okay, so this is the plan. So next class will be on Monday. So let me know if you have any questions or concerns about the class or about the